Aging is a journey that everyone takes, yet very few truly understand. We often think that reaching 80 or beyond is purely about genetics or luck. But in reality, there are hidden factors, quiet, almost invisible things that slowly chip away at the body and mind. Many of these factors have nothing to do with medicine or diet. They are found in the way we think, feel, and live each day. When we look at people who live past 80, 90, or even 100, there's something they all have in common. They live with intention. Their days are filled with purpose, movement, curiosity, and emotional connection. Those who struggle to reach those ages often lose one or more of these things long before their body begins to fail. Let's explore together the 5 unexpected reasons many older people quietly shorten their lives, and what can be done to change that, starting today. The first silent killer. Isolation loneliness is one of the most underestimated threats to health. When people retire, lose close friends, or become less mobile, they often begin spending more time alone. At first, it might feel peaceful, but as days turn into weeks and weeks into months, something begins to shift inside the brain. Human beings are wired for connection. When we stop engaging in real conversations, laughter, or shared experiences, our brains start to slow down. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, and even premature death. But here's the hopeful truth. Connection doesn't have to come from a big group or constant social activity. It can come from small, meaningful moments, talking to a neighbor, calling a friend, joining a small class, or even chatting with a grandchild online. The human heart thrives on feeling seen and heard, and it's never too late to rebuild those bridges. The second reason, losing a sense of purpose after retirement, many people find themselves asking, "What now?" For decades, their days were structured around work, family, and responsibility. But once those roles fade, the sense of being needed can disappear too. When purpose fades, so does vitality. Without something to look forward to, the days begin to blend together. The body follows the mind, and without direction, both begin to slow down. Having purpose doesn't have to mean starting a new career or volunteering every day. Purpose can be as simple as caring for a garden, writing letters to loved ones, mentoring younger people, or learning something new. It's the act of doing that brings meaning back into the day. There's a story of a woman named Helen who began painting at age 72. She said she picked up the brush one day just to keep her hands busy. But years later, she realized that painting gave her a reason to get up every morning. She began to smile again, eat better, and even walk farther just to find colors that inspired her work. Purpose can be the most powerful medicine of all. The third factor, neglecting mental flexibility as people age. Many begin to say things like, "I'm too old to learn that," or "That's for the younger generation." These small phrases may seem harmless, but they signal something deeper. The mind is starting to close itself off to growth. When the brain stops learning new things, it starts to decline. Cognitive decline doesn't just come from disease. It comes from disuse. The mind is like a muscle. It needs challenge, curiosity, and novelty to stay sharp. Learning something new, even something small, can reawaken the brain. It could be learning a new app, exploring a hobby like photography, or studying a new language. The process of struggling, failing, and improving keeps neural connections alive. Neuroscientists now know that the brain can continue forming new pathways at any age. This ability, called neuroplasticity, doesn't disappear with time. It simply needs to be encouraged. Seniors who keep learning, asking questions, and experimenting tend to live longer and happier lives. The fourth hidden threat, quiet stress. We often think of stress as something obvious, big life events, financial trouble, or loss. But for many older adults, stress becomes quieter and more subtle. It shows up as worry about health, fear of becoming a burden, or regret about the past. This kind of hidden stress can quietly wear down the body. It raises inflammation levels, disrupts sleep, and weakens the immune system. Over time, it shortens life, not through dramatic illness, but through slow, steady exhaustion. One of the best ways to reduce quiet stress is through awareness and relaxation habits. Simple breathing exercises, gentle stretching, or even moments of gratitude can calm the nervous system. Writing down worries or talking about them with a trusted friend can also help the mind release what it's been holding on to. Peace is not something that just happens. It's something we practice. The fifth and final reason, forgetting joy. This might be the most overlooked reason of all. Many people reach their later years and stop giving themselves permission to feel joy. They might think happiness is for younger people, or that life's pleasures no longer belong to them, but joy is a survival tool. Laughter, playfulness, and creativity strengthen the immune system, balance hormones, and protect the brain. People who smile and laugh regularly are less likely to suffer from depression or cognitive decline. Joy doesn't have to come from big events. It can come from music, nature, dancing in the kitchen, or sharing a meal. Every moment of genuine laughter adds vitality to the body and soul. When these 5 factors, isolation, loss of purpose, rigidity, quiet stress, and forgotten joy, come together, they quietly shorten life. Not because the body is weak, but because the spirit begins to dim. Yet the opposite is also true. When older adults stay connected, purposeful, curious, calm, and joyful, they often surprise even their doctors. Their minds stay alert, their hearts stay strong, and their days feel meaningful. Aging well is not about resisting time. It's about learning how to live fully within it. Every long life is a balance between what happens to the body and what happens to the mind. Most of the time, people focus only on the physical part, diet, exercise, medication, and forget the deep connection between emotional life and biological health. The truth is that many of the reasons people struggle to live past 80 are not simply about what they eat or how strong their heart is, but about how their inner world affects their cells, hormones, and immune system. Let's explore how each of those 5 factors actually changes the body from the inside out. How isolation affects the body and mind. When we're alone for too long, the brain starts to interpret that isolation as danger. Thousands of years ago, being isolated from the group meant a lower chance of survival. The brain still carries that ancient wiring. So when a person feels lonely, even in a safe home, their brain releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals are meant for short bursts, to escape a threat or handle a crisis. But when they stay elevated for months or years, they cause quiet damage, higher blood pressure, slower healing, lower immunity, and faster aging at the cellular level. Research shows that people who remain socially active into their 70s and 80s have better memory, stronger immune systems, and longer life expectancy. Talking, laughing, and sharing emotions literally protect the brain. Every friendly conversation is a form of medicine. How losing purpose weakens the body. When people lose their sense of meaning, the body follows. Scientists studying purpose-driven living have discovered that people who feel useful, even in small ways, have lower levels of inflammation, better sleep, and a reduced risk of stroke or heart attack. Purpose triggers motivation chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. These not only improve mood, but also regulate digestion, energy, and immune function. Having a goal, no matter how small, tells the brain, you are still needed. And when the brain believes that, the body finds new strength. It's not about chasing achievements. It's about waking up with a reason to move, even if that reason is watering a plant, helping a neighbor, or learning a new recipe. The biology of purpose is powerful. The moment we have a why, the body finds the how. Mental rigidity and the aging brain mental flexibility is what allows people to adapt, learn, and stay curious. When a person says, I'm too old for that, their brain starts to reduce its activity in areas related to learning and creativity. The mind becomes predictable, and predictability is the enemy of growth. Neuroscientists have found that novelty, anything new or unfamiliar, stimulates the production of a protein called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This protein acts like fertilizer for the brain, helping neurons grow and connect. Without it, memory weakens, and mood declines. Trying new experiences, meeting different people, or even rearranging your living space can increase BDNF levels. It's not about being an expert, it's about staying curious. The most youthful brains belong to those who keep asking questions and daring to experiment, even in their 80s. Quiet stress and its hidden damage. Many older adults don't realize that chronic worry or regret affects their physical body as much as it affects their mind. When we carry emotional tension for too long, the body enters what scientists call low-grade inflammation. It's a state where the immune system is always slightly activated, as if it's fighting a threat that never arrives. This quiet inflammation contributes to arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, and even memory loss. It's like running a car engine non-stop. Eventually, it overheats. The key isn't to eliminate all stress, but to learn how to release it regularly. Simple daily rituals can lower this hidden tension. Breathing slowly for 5 minutes, walking outside, listening to calming music, or spending time with pets can reset the nervous system. Gratitude also works wonders. Writing down 3 small things that went right in a day signals the brain to relax, reminding it that safety and peace still exist. How forgetting joy changes the brain. Joy might sound like an emotional luxury, but it's a biological necessity. When we laugh, sing, dance, or feel awe, the body releases endorphins and oxytocin, chemicals that lower pain, reduce stress, and strengthen the immune system. Joy literally repairs the body. People who engage in joyful activities, whether that's playing music, gardening, or simply enjoying nature, show lower rates of inflammation and cognitive decline. The brain thrives on positive emotions because they create flexibility and hope. In fact, researchers who study long-living communities around the world, such as those in Japan or Italy, have found that laughter and social playfulness are just as important as diet and exercise. Joy is not the result of good health. It's often the cause of it. The mind-body bridge. Everything that happens in the mind sends signals to the body. The heart, gut, and immune system are constantly listening. When the mind feels safe, the body repairs itself. When the mind feels disconnected or hopeless, the body begins to weaken. This is why many elderly people who stay emotionally active and socially engaged appear to defy their age. Their physical strength is a reflection of their emotional health. Their cells respond to optimism and curiosity. Every thought becomes a signal, every feeling a form of communication. The key to living longer isn't found only in hospitals or diets. It's found in the everyday decisions that shape how we connect, move, think, and find joy. A glimpse into longer lives. There's a beautiful story about a man named Carlos, who lived in a small town near the mountains. At 89 years old, he still walked every morning to a cafe 2 blocks away. People often asked him his secret to longevity. He would smile and say, "I don't think about dying. I think about breakfast." His secret wasn't a miracle diet or special supplement. It was the way he approached life, simple pleasures, human connection, and curiosity about what each morning might bring. He wasn't chasing youth. He was nurturing presence. Longevity isn't just the absence of disease. It's the presence of meaning, movement, and mindfulness. Now that we understand the hidden reasons behind why so many people struggle to live past 80, let's focus on what can actually be done to change that. The good news is that every one of those 5 factors can be reversed. Not by big, impossible changes, but by simple, daily habits that gently reawaken the body and the mind. A long life is not just something we hope for. It's something we build step by step, moment by moment. Rebuilding connection. Loneliness can creep into anyone's life quietly. The way to fight it isn't by suddenly surrounding yourself with dozens of people. It's by finding one meaningful connection at a time. Start with something small. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Smile at a neighbor. Join a community class, not because you need to master something, but because you need to share space and energy with others. Even online communication can make a difference. A simple daily message to a friend, a comment in an online group, or a shared video call can awaken the feeling of belonging. Human connection doesn't depend on age, technology, or location. It depends on intention. People who maintain active friendships in their 70s and 80s show better memory, stronger immunity, and lower rates of depression. Relationships are not just emotional fuel. They are biological protection. Reigniting purpose, finding purpose again, doesn't require dramatic reinvention. The biggest mistake many people make after retirement is thinking that life's main work is over. But purpose is not a job. It's the act of giving your time and attention to something that matters to you. Think about what brings you a quiet sense of pride or excitement. Maybe it's mentoring someone younger, teaching a skill, writing down your memories, or creating art. These acts tell your brain that your existence still has an impact, and it responds by keeping your body healthier and your mind sharper. If you ever feel lost, ask yourself a simple question. What can I contribute today? Even the smallest action, helping a neighbor, sharing a story, or nurturing a plant, can reignite the inner spark that keeps you alive and vibrant. Staying mentally flexible, one of the best gifts you can give your brain is novelty. It doesn't matter what it is. A new route during your walk, a new recipe, or learning a few words in another language. Every new experience lights up the brain. If you've ever felt intimidated by technology, start small. Watch a tutorial. Ask a younger friend or relative for help. Instead of saying, "I'm too old for this," try saying, "I haven't learned this yet." That small shift keeps the learning door open. Play games that challenge your memory or reasoning. Puzzles, crosswords, or strategy games. These aren't just entertainment. They are brain workouts. The brain loves a challenge, and it rewards you with clarity, focus, and resilience. Remember, learning keeps your neurons alive. It's not about becoming an expert. It's about keeping curiosity alive. Releasing hidden stress in later life often hides beneath silence. Many people worry quietly about health, about being a burden, about finances, or about losing independence. These worries create invisible tension that slowly wears down the body. The best medicine for quiet stress is awareness. The moment you acknowledge your feelings, the body starts to relax. Try starting or ending each day with deep, calm breathing. 5 slow breaths in, 5 slow breaths out. Feel your shoulders drop, your heartbeat steady, your mind clear. Movement also releases stress. Gentle walks, stretching, yoga, or Tai Chi help the body release trapped tension. They also increase blood flow to the brain, improving focus and energy. And don't underestimate the power of talking. Sharing your worries with someone who listens, whether a friend, counselor, or family member, can reduce stress more than any pill ever could. Peace grows through practice, not perfection. Rediscovering joy is not something that happens only on special occasions. It's something you can create daily in small, deliberate ways. Start by asking yourself, what made me smile today? If you can't think of anything, create something that will. Listen to a song you love. Sit in the sunlight. Watch a funny movie. Cook something colorful. Joy is like exercise. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Laughter improves circulation, boosts immune function, and reduces pain. When you allow yourself to play, your body thanks you. Some people think playfulness belongs to youth. But in truth, the most joyful laughter often comes from people who have lived long enough to understand how precious life is. When you rediscover joy, you remind your body that life is still worth celebrating. Building a daily life that extends, life longevity, is not built on massive change. It's built on daily rhythm. Here's a simple structure you can follow. Morning. Start your day with sunlight, hydration, and gratitude. Spend a few minutes reflecting on what you're thankful for and what you're excited about today. Gratitude immediately reduces cortisol and improves mood. Midday. Move your body. Walk, stretch, or engage in light exercise. Movement increases oxygen flow to the brain and prevents stiffness. Even 10 minutes a day makes a difference. Afternoon, engage the mind. Read, learn, or create. This keeps the brain active and curious. Evening, connect with someone. Call, text, or visit. Human connection at the end of the day helps regulate sleep hormones and reduces feelings of loneliness. Before bed, reflect, breathe, and let go of the day. Sleep is the body's most powerful healing process. When you sleep deeply, your cells repair themselves. If you do even half of these things regularly, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. The power of belief. Many people underestimate how powerful belief can be. When you believe that you can still grow, learn, and enjoy life, your brain begins to work toward making that belief true. This is called the placebo effect, but in reality, it's not about fake medicine. It's about real biological change driven by mindset. Belief changes hormones, improves immunity, and even affects how cells repair themselves. When people believe they're too old to improve, the body listens. When they believe they can thrive, the body listens too. Your mind is your most powerful medicine. There's a truth that few people talk about openly. Living longer isn't just about fighting death, it's about learning how to truly live again. We spend so much of life chasing years that we sometimes forget to fill those years with moments that matter. The people who live the longest, happiest lives don't always have perfect health, wealth, or luck. What they do have is meaning, a sense that their days still count for something. The emotional secret of longevity. Emotions have more power over health than most people realize. Resentment, regret, and unspoken sadness slowly drain the body's energy. But emotions like gratitude, love, and acceptance strengthen it. Science now shows that people who forgive easily live longer. The act of letting go, of forgiving those who hurt you, of releasing guilt over your own mistakes, reduces inflammation and strengthens the immune system. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about freeing yourself. You don't do it for others. You do it for your peace. When you wake up each day with a lighter heart, your body feels it too. The heart beats easier. The breath deepens. The mind clears. Peace is not the absence of struggle. It's the acceptance of life as it is. The role of reflection. As people grow older, reflection becomes both a comfort and a teacher. Looking back doesn't have to mean living in the past. It can mean gathering wisdom from the life you've already lived. Try to write down your memories, not as a formal journal, but as a collection of moments. Write about your happiest day, your hardest decision, your biggest lesson. You don't have to show it to anyone. The act of writing helps the brain organize emotions, and that organization brings peace. Reflecting also helps you see how strong you've been. You've survived heartbreak, change, loss, uncertainty, and yet, here you are. That realization alone can bring immense strength. Your story matters. Even if you think it's ordinary, someone younger will one day find courage in it. Legacy beyond possessions. When people think of legacy, they often think of money or belongings. But the most powerful legacy is emotional and spiritual. The energy you leave behind in others. Every kind word, every lesson shared, every bit of patience shown is part of your legacy. When you smile at someone in a store, when you encourage a grandchild, when you teach a friend how to stay hopeful, that energy continues long after you're gone. True immortality doesn't come from fame or wealth. It comes from kindness that ripples through generations. So ask yourself, what do I want to leave behind? Not as an object, but as a feeling. What emotion will people remember when they think of me? Make that your daily goal. Live in a way that plants seeds of peace, hope, and joy in others. Accepting the body's changes. As we grow older, our bodies naturally change. And yet, the culture around us often makes aging seem like a failure instead of an achievement. But aging is not losing life. It's gaining perspective. Your body tells the story of everything you've lived through. Every wrinkle, every scar, every gray hair is a chapter written by time. Instead of hiding it, honor it. Treat your body as a partner that has carried you through decades of laughter, tears, and discovery. Give it gratitude. Feed it well. Move it with care. Speak kindly to it. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means respecting where you are while still doing what you can to stay strong and active. The moment you stop fighting time, you start living with it, and that brings freedom. The art of stillness. In today's noisy world, people often confuse activity with living. But there's deep strength in stillness. Spending a few quiet minutes alone each day, no phone, no TV, just breathing, can heal your mind. This simple act lowers blood pressure, improves focus, and restores balance. Stillness helps you listen, not just to your thoughts, but to life itself. You begin to notice small details again, the sound of birds, the rhythm of your breath, the warmth of sunlight on your skin. These small moments are not insignificant. They are sacred. When you learn to be still, you stop chasing time and start feeling it. Reimagining aging. We've been taught to fear aging, as if every year is something being taken away. But what if every year actually gives something instead? Each decade adds a layer of understanding that no youth could ever replace. You gain depth, patience, and the ability to see the bigger picture. Imagine if we saw wrinkles not as decay, but as the artwork of experience. Imagine if we celebrated gray hair as a crown of survival. Imagine if growing older was seen not as fading, but as ripening, becoming richer, softer, wiser. Aging gracefully doesn't mean pretending you're young. It means carrying your age with confidence and joy. The truth is, the world needs your perspective. Your generation holds stories that younger people desperately need to hear. About resilience, about patience, about how to live when life doesn't go as planned. So don't shrink yourself. Expand, speak, share. You are not at the end of your story. You're in the chapter where wisdom becomes visible. How to quietly add years to your life. Let's return to the original question. Why do most older people struggle to live past 80? We've seen that the reasons are not purely physical. They're emotional, mental, and spiritual. The quiet killers are loneliness, purposelessness, rigidity, stress, and hopelessness. But the quiet healers are connection, purpose, flexibility, peace, and joy. If you feed the healers every day, even in small ways, the body responds. Your immune system strengthens. Your heart rate stabilizes. Your sleep deepens. Your energy returns. Every act of care for yourself tells your body that life is still worth protecting. Start today, not tomorrow, because aging doesn't wait, but neither does growth. Living, not just surviving. When people say, "I just want to live a few more years," what they often mean is, "I want to feel alive again." Living longer means nothing if the days are empty. But when every day has even one moment of connection, one burst of laughter, one breath of gratitude, it becomes full. Don't measure your life by years. Measure it by presence. If you can sit outside and feel the wind, if you can share a story that makes someone smile, if you can look at the night sky and whisper, "Thank you," then you are fully alive. The final thought. There is a simple but powerful truth. Life doesn't stop giving you chances to grow. It just offers them in quieter, gentler forms. You've spent a lifetime building, working, caring, and giving. Now it's time to receive rest, joy, and the deep satisfaction of knowing that you've lived fully. Longevity isn't a finish line. It's a mindset, one that says, "I am still here, and I still matter." Every sunrise that meets your eyes is a reminder. Your story isn't over. It's still unfolding, so take care of yourself. Stay curious, stay kind, laugh often, love freely, forgive deeply. And above all, keep believing that life, no matter your age, still has new adventures waiting for you. Because the truth is, the body may grow older, but the soul remains forever young.